Hello guys, it's me, Stark here. I know it's pretty dark, but I have something to show you guys. These are the civilization win rates according to AoE stats. So basically, we can see which are the civilizations with the higher win rates and also the lower win rates. And right now, the civilization with the higher win rate by 0.1 is are the SHU. So SHU is at the moment the strongest civilization. Going and analyzing the SHU, we can see a few interesting things here. First off, on games that goes around 20 to 30 minutes, SHU are the big winners. This is probably the time where the SHU shine the most here, between 20 and 30 minutes. So they are a civilization that should win on the Castle Age. As the game goes after goes to the Imperial Age, their winning rate starts to lower a bit, so they don't have the greatest post-Imperial Age options. And they are winning pretty much after the recent patch, so they went for a 51% win rate to the currently 54%, which is a lot. And one thing that's very interesting is that the more you increase the elo, more people are winning with the WoW. So there are several reasons for that. One of these reasons is that their eco bonus is very easy to use, and their gameplay is quite simple. You just know that you should focus like on ranged units. But there's a second explanation, which is Phosphorus. Yeah, there he goes, guys. Phosphorus once again. Phosphorus actually, I don't know if he is the original creator of this strategy, but he's surely the one that's having more success by using it on the ladder. And it's the SHU Siege Push. Basically, you go for a fast castle. I'm gonna go into the details of the build in another video, so that everyone will now have the same build order and you can execute its strategy. But the idea here is pretty simple. The SHU are the only civilization that have no access to Scorpion. This is very unique, and instead of the Scorpion they do have a unit called War Chariot. The War Chariot is one of the weirdest units of the game for several reasons. First one, it's a siege unit that actually costs food. I know we do have like the armored elephants, but actually that's quite a new stuff. They are the first ranged unit that costs food. So basically the cost of it is something around 65 food. Yeah, that's a lot, more than a knight. And 90 gold. So you probably have one of the most expensive units of the game. The only other siege units such as the mangonel or even monks would cost more gold, and very few units are going to cost more food than that. So it's really expensive. The nerf to this unit is on its cost. But why is it so strong then? Because a few of those units can pretty much counter anything that you can produce during the feudal age. So no feudal age army has any chance to kill this unit. Even castle age army struggle against this unit, and the only real counter to it are the mangonels. And there we come towards the second part of the problem. The SHU have a bonus that makes their siege work 50% faster. So if you go into a mangonel war against the SHU, you are probably gonna get out microed a lot faster. They can shoot and dodge faster than you. So they are indeed a very fearsome civilization. Right here we see Phosphorus playing, so his build is quite simple. I'm not gonna go into the details, but let's just think that he plays with 15 villagers on foot, 5 on the wood. Sells his stone and goes all the way to the castle age, and he's gonna reach castle age around 12.5 minutes. That's pretty fast. As you can see, he's playing against Doubt, so it's not like he's playing against someone that is unaware on how to play Age of Empires, and Doubt is punishing this guy a lot. He's forwarding him with a tower. He's now killing several villagers here using his scout and towers, and he's denying the main gold, he's denying the wood. He is hurting Phosphorus a lot. Phosphorus barely has anything that he can do at the moment. But let's take a look on how he's gonna play against that. Right now it's 12 and 50, 12 and 49 minutes, and he drops a siege workshop. Everything seems lost. This guy doesn't have a single farm, he only has a few villagers on the back collecting gold, but he did bank up a good amount of food, and for that reason he's gonna be able to produce some war chariots. The war chariot is also very special because, similar to the Rata, they have two modes, but no, they do not have a melee mode. One of these modes is called Focus Fire, when they're just going to shoot all the projectiles in a single target, and the other one is called Barrage, or Barrage, I don't know how to pronunciate it, to be honest. But what you need to understand is Barrage is the mode you want to use. Barrage mode will just shoot multiple arrows, similar to how an organ gun shoots its projectiles, and for that reason you are going to deal damage to several targets. And once you have a small amount of those siege units, and I'm talking about, look at that, I'm talking about 2 or 3, you can pretty much clean out any kind of feudal age army. Right here we can see Doubt, who's trying to pressure his opponent here by using forward towers and scouts, and those are the war chariots from the SHU. They have 8 attack per shot, and they can use the barrage mode to hit multiple targets. So basically this unit is a lot stronger than it looks, and it also, due to its barrage mode, it can actually use its like a natural ballistics. It's impossible to miss a target. You are going to deal damage to whatever target that enters in your range. You cannot dodge this unit. Basically that's the thing here. So there we go. 2 units are just going around. The idea is that Phosphorus is going to try to counterattack using those units. 2 more are on the way. I want to see how they perform when they find out enemy army. And Doubt, who invested here a lot into the towers to deny his opponent, is having now to think about defending himself. And he's thinking about using scouts, but as you can see, the war chariots are punishing the scouts pretty rapidly here. Doubt has 6 scouts. Phosphorus has 4 of those. He's already killing most, and take a look on these shots. Multiple units being shot and being killed by the war chariot. The downside of the war chariot is its cost, but it doesn't matter. If you manage to get a small number of those, like 5, you were already in a great situation. And since Doubt invested a lot into feudal age, he did invest into scouts and he did invest into towers, he's very far away from the castle age, so he'll likely not be able to play here using his siege, which is very difficult. Now let's take a look at what's happening here. He's just going around, forcing Doubt out of his farms. By the way, guys, don't forget, this is not a cavalry unit, so skirmishers doesn't counter it. Different from a Rata from the Bengalis, for example, the war chariot actually has 5 pierce armor, so no feudal age unit will deal more than 1 damage per shot. No feudal age ranged unit, so it's pretty amazing. Right here, Phosphorus just adding new farms, moving his wood line to other sides. With this small amount of villagers on gold, he's capable of doing many things, and he's sending views forward. I'd say that the best approach, in my opinion, is to actually drop a siege workshop forward, so that you can combine the power of your war chariots with mangonels, perhaps with runs, and you can do like a full siege push. But right there, Phosphorus actually went for a monastery, and he also did a very interesting mechanic. He went to heal up his monks, to heal up the war chariot with monks. So yeah, it's a siege unit, and you heal the siege unit similar to the elephant. Exactly. Very word unit. Siege stats, but you cannot repair, you actually heal it with monks, so crazy. Let's see how he will try to finish the game. I was thinking that he would for sure need a mangonel or a ram, but as you guys are about to see, this unit also deals a very significant amount of damage towards enemy town centers. Phosphorus will probably lose a unit here, because he's not targeting or not countering properly here. Oh, I didn't mention, but The attempts of his enemy to counterattacking are are futile here. He cannot do much because as long as he has one or two of those guys on his base, he can pretty much kill any feudal army that tries to kill it. The farms are no more. He's now investing into another siege workshop, and he has monks that can keep healing out his chariots. And what is he doing? Well, he's shooting the enemy town center. As you can see, the enemy town center is already on half of its HP. Both town center and war chariot have a similar range, but with a few monks behind, the town center doesn't even deal enough damage to take down the war chariots. So this is a nightmare if you stay on feudal age. Truly a nightmare. As you can see on the back, Doubt is actually betting on the counterattack, so he's still investing into scouts. It's worth mentioning that his scouts have bloodlines, so they all have up to 65 HP on their maximum potential. But it's not like Phosphorus economy is his biggest trait here. As you can see, Doubt can barely hit or even get close to the enemy villagers without getting hit and losing the HP on his scouts. Meanwhile, at home, he's not even capable of dealing with the war chariot that his opponent is doing here, so the situation is getting even more critical. He has no more town center, he's having to run through the map and try to do something. He tries to flank the war chariot, but he even managed to kill a few, but that's futile. Now he has used all the food he had, his CC is down, his farms are idle, there isn't much he can do. He even tried to counterattack, but the war chariot itself just self-countered the pushes here. They didn't even need much effort. Of course, in order to make these expensive units, Phosphorus is buying a lot of food. I'm not showing guys, but he probably bought like more than 400 food already. He just used the market several times in order to keep the production here, until he made the farms. Now he has farms, now he's collecting wood, and he has a working TC, while his opponent, well, his opponent does not. Monks constantly healing, and war chariots can take down town centers, they can take down towers. Remember, they are a siege unit after all. And the scouts are not finding good fights against them. As you can see, when the war chariots use their barrage mode, they hit multiple units. And even if you try to use villagers to aid you in the fight, this will eventually lead to their demise. Just like that. 5 kills at one shot, man. Crazy. And now, with your opponent without the town center, without farms, you can just go there and keep booming and playing as the SHU. So this was an example of a very experienced player, Doubt, losing to the War Chariot Rush. And in this game specifically, Phosphorus only used 2 units. The War Chariot and Monks, both which require no big upgrades to actually do what they're doing. Monks don't need anything to heal, and War Chariots cannot even be upgraded during Castle Age. So basically, nothing special here. Everything is down. Doubt's just spreading his eco through the map here, trying to outlive his opponent and trying to survive using extra resources and so on, but at this point there isn't much hope. The scouts are barely doing anything, and Phosphorus knows that he needs to keep playing the game, so he's actually going for the eco upgrades, booming, investing to new town centers, new stuff, and Doubt is around 13 vills. Villagers that once get spotted have absolutely no chance against the War Chariots, and the Scouts, which are probably the best unit for Doubt from Feudal Age, cannot do much. So as you could see guys, there isn't much that he can do about it. I want to show another game here from Phosphorus using this approach, but this time he's gonna play against Stoneplace. Stone is a player. He also games works. So now we are going to see the same approach as the SHU being used against a player that actually knows what is going on here. Is this the game? Yes, this is the game. Alright, so once again, we have here a matchup between SHU and Wei. Wei are a great Civ, and as you can see, Phosphorus is trying to lame a boar from his opponent. So even on Dark Age, he's trying to get some small leverage. Uh-oh, the game just freezes, guys. I hope it defreezes. Oh my god, the game totally froze here. Alright, there he goes. So he's trying to take an enemy boar. Even if he doesn't manage to take the boar, he's at least disrupting his opponent by a lot here. He's being very annoying. Oh, alright. Stone Please eventually stops his opponent from laming his boar. So he's about to take the boar back with a lot of effort. Lot of mechanics, lot of effort. Quite a fun game to do. You need to be really high elo to go all this length in order to try and save your boar and still manage to succeed on this endeavor. So congrats to Stone Please. What a Dark Age. This is a chicken map, but to be honest, I don't think that it does matter a lot here for the strategy, for the build. Phosphorus even had a very messy Dark Age, as you can see. He's only now going for the lumber. He has injured views. He actually killed the boar like 4 tiles away from the town center. So it's not like the best game. As you can see, he's 1 view behind. He was forced to make loom. The game is very messy, but there he goes. In order to diversify his food source, he always sends like several villagers to the berries. In the other games I have seen he sending something between 6 to 7 villagers towards the berries. And the idea here is that by the moment you click to Feudal Age, you are still eating. Ooh, nice anti-laming. He ended up killing the enemy scout. Enemy is still trying to lame him using villager, and what a nice play. Trapping the enemy view, killing the lemur view. Anyway, both have similar stats. Going back to the food, you want to diversify your food sources, because if you keep way too many villagers on the TC for a fast castle strategy, you might end up eating all the food under the TC and not having enough food to click up. So if you can diversify the food sources in the way that Phosphor is doing, for example, this will always be good for your economy. So take some food, take some berries, take some sheep. Do not keep all the villagers on the same stuff. On this game, Dark Age was quite messy, so he's going for an even slower uptime here. 25 views, oh, that's very slow for a Phosphorus build, huh? But here's the thing, his opponent also delayed himself a bit, but he has a very solid economy. As you can see here, from Stone Please game, he's already dropping a market as the way. Remember that he's East Way, so as soon as he starts making upgrades, he's gonna start getting extra views. So Blacksmith and Market are both up. He clicks to Castle Age even faster than Phosphorus. Phosphorus might be concerned about Feudal Age rushes, so what does he do here? He actually goes for a small walls here around the wood and around the gold. This will allow him to survive until he's on Castle Age. And what is he doing? Sending villagers forward in order to make the siege workshops. Remember that he has a market, so he can trade resources in a more efficient way here, and that will allow him to build more stuff as he needs. So in case he needs more food, he can buy food. In case he needs more wood, for example, like right now, to drop a siege workshop, he can do that. And there he comes here with double siege workshop. Stone Please is pretty aware of what's happening, so he actually went for a fast castle. He also went for mangonels, and as you guys can see, a mangonel can one-shot one of these units. Remember that despite of its strength, it only has 65 HP, and it's similar to a scorpion. It's a siege unit that can be countered by other siege units. But here comes the problem. First, let's analyze Phosphorus economy. If he's not making more war chariots, he's gonna have a small excedent of wood, which obviously he can use to, for example, upgrade Bowsaw, which is going to boost the SHU economy. Remember, guys, that every time you are collecting wood as the SHU, you are also generating a small amount of food. As you can see here, his food is slowly increasing, similar to how the Portuguese bonus works, similar to having a relic on a monastery, and for that reason, he can now have a very, very effective economy with the minimum amount of villagers on the food. Everyone else goes to the gold and to the wood, and because of that, he allows himself to produce more mangonels. Now we are in a big mangonel war, but he already has 2 siege workshops. If his opponent tries to do any other unit, let's say a knight, arcane archer, the war chariot will be able to deal with that. So basically this has become a big mangonel fight. But remember, the SHU have an economy that's more suited for this kind of play, and also they do move faster, so it's easier for Phosphorus to shoot and dodge. Despite that, Stone Please is a very experienced player and give him a run for the game. But Phosphorus is playing everything right here. He's on the top of a hill. I don't know if you guys can see, but that's a hill. So his mangonels are outliving the enemy ones. He's starting to harass the enemy economy, and right now he can even go there and start to raid villagers with an all-in into mangonels. So basically that's why I think that this strategy is not war chariot rush, but instead siege rush, because if your opponent goes for the counter, which is the mangonel, you can also make mangonels, and your mangonels are going to move faster. So eventually Phosphorus, who's producing mangonels from 2 siege workshops, is going to surpass his opponent. Meanwhile, at home, his economy is quite simple. He just keeps sending villagers to either wood or gold, and despite having only 6 views, you can see that he already has a big excedent of food, and the reason is the SHU economical bonus of generating food in addition to wood. And now he also add a few war chariots to help cleaning up the villagers or countering any unit such as a knight that could try to kill him. So you try to play Feudal Age, you die. You try to play Castle Age, you are also going to die because you don't have units that are stronger as his. I'd say that probably if Stone Please also was playing Mirror and playing Mangonels himself in a SHU war, and he also had perhaps like double siege workshop, he would be even. But guys, I hope you have enjoyed this strategy. I'm planning to make videos about that during this week. My intention here is to teach you on the small details how to execute this build and how to adapt yourself to the situations that you might face. So don't be afraid of using this strategy. Take a lot of attention on your war chariots, especially using the barrage mode, and practice a bit the mangonel micro of shooting down a mangonel and move. You shoot, you move, you shoot, you move, and this will probably allow you to understand why the SHU have right now the widest win rate on the game. Hope you guys enjoy it. This is what I had for today. See you tomorrow in the next video.